Central bank digital currencies are coming. They're marketed as safer, faster, and more private. But look at the timing. Europe's debt is rising, deficits are stubborn, and markets are nervous. When capital starts looking for an exit, a programmable centrally issued currency becomes the lever.
Imagine a digital single payment solution that could be used for any kind of payment throughout the euro area. Guess what? It could become a reality. A digital euro. Easy, safe, fast, reliable. Digital money from the European Central Bank at your fingertips whenever you need it.
ECB's digital euro. Fast, reliable, sexy, Orwellian. And though they may spin it for convenience, but it's probably more for control. In Q1 of 2025, the euro area's public debt sat near 88% of GDP, with several countries far higher. And that's the backdrop. So maybe ask yourself, are CBDCs truly about consumer safety or capital control? And if that's the direction, why does Bitcoin, open, borderless, uncensorable, suddenly matter more than ever? Well, that answer is pretty obvious. But I'm Oceans. This is Beyond Bitcoin. Let's dive in.
Let me move on to digital assets because, of course, the ECB and your colleagues in Europe will be dictating or overseeing changes in crypto, changes in digital assets and a digital euro. What would you like to see?
I'd like to say that we started that process a few years back. We are moving on very practically, because we are now really at the sort of pre-pilot stage, experimenting with different types of technologies, and we should be ready to launch in about 18 months.
That's very exciting. How will this change people's lives?
You know, it's people who have dictated that change, because in many, many countries now in the European Union, you see that customers, clients, citizens, whatever their age, they are prepared now to use digital currencies. So the digital euro for me is like digital cash. Instead of getting banknotes from the ATM machine, they'll be able to use cash, but in a digital form, whether they use it with their phone or other devices. But that's exactly the equivalent of cash, but in a digital form. And it's to help them, pay in the way they want and transact in the way they want. It's more opportunities for them.
Officials promise a privacy by design digital euro that's supposed to actually release in this coming October. And they're saying the ECB would not be able to identify who you are or what you're buying. They're also saying that their privacy features are the highest of any electronic payment. That's their pitch. But in this case, context matters. The euro area's debt ratio has been edging up again. The highly indebted members, Greece at 152% of debt to GDP, Italy at 138%, France at 114%, are already beyond old Maastricht comfort levels. I'll look up what Maastricht is, because that might be important. Did you know that Maastricht is a place, a city and a municipality in the southern Netherlands? Man, being American, you don't know anything, do you? There's so many places you've never heard of, like Maastricht. France's own budget minister warned in June that failure to rein in the deficit could invite IMF EU oversight.
At today's press conference, François Bayrou warned that France was facing an immediate danger of falling into over-indebtedness. That's when a nation owes more than it can repay. He said that the debt servicing cost will become the largest expenditure this year, surpassing that of education or that of defense. Let's take a listen to him.
La France ne peut pas ignorer ce danger.
France cannot ignore this danger. It cannot stand idly by. It is heading for disaster if it does not take the courageous but still possible and bearable decisions that are necessary and that we are debating.
And this shows when finances tighten, governments hunt for control points. Capital controls aren't theory. In Cyprus in 2013, large payments required central bank approval.
The banking crisis engulfing Cyprus came down to brutally simple terms today for ordinary depositors. 100 euros per day is all that can be withdrawn from most bank ATMs. Anything to prevent a run on the banks that have already been closed for a week.
They don't have access to their money. They do not know what tomorrow will bring.
Tomorrow is the deadline for a $13 billion bailout to stave off national bankruptcy. The president of Cyprus flew to Brussels today, but to get those billions, Cyprus may have to slap a 20% tax on some bank deposits over 100,000 euros.
Outgoing transfers over thresholds were blocked or pre-cleared. These are explicit tools to stop money from leaving the country. In Greece in 2015, withdrawals, cash, exports, and foreign transfers were all capped for years, before being lifted in 2018. Now, pair that history with a programmable currency, a CBDC. The IMF's own taxonomy defines capital flow management measures as rules designed to limit inflows and outflows. And that's exactly the kind of fine-grained control that a CBDC enables. Holding limits, geofencing, time-based rules, and real-time monitoring. Now, all these things are absolutely ludicrous to think about our cash society right now. Now, if you think about what geofencing is, where you can't spend outside of your geographical area, or time-based rules where your money expires, this already exists in China with their digital yuan. And all of these things come under the banner of stability.
Just want stability in my life, Charlie.
Keep it stable, keep the money controlled. Keep the population controlled. This isn't about tinfoil hats. It's about incentives. When debt and deficits squeeze states, capital flight is the enemy. Fight the capital flight.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
Do your part. Fight the capital flight.
CBDCs give the state a software switchboard likened to an app that you can control the lights in your house. Let's take a quick break. If self-custody matters to you, then comms resilience should matter just as much. Sat123.com equips you with satellite phones, Starlink kits, Faraday bags, and off-grid tools that keep you connected when banks and grids falter. And if you go to sat123.com and you use the promo code SIMPLY, you'll get 15% off your purchase. Because self-custody doesn't end at your wallet, it extends to your ability to communicate. That's sat123.com. With all of these attributes of CBDCs, Bitcoin becomes the anti-architecture of that system. It's decentralized. The issuance and validation, there's no single shutoff switch. It's permissionless. Anyone with an internet connection can participate. Bitcoin allows you to self-custody your private keys. There's no custodian to freeze your assets. And borderless settlement, which doesn't recognize borders, obviously. In a world of software-defined money, Bitcoin is free speech money. If CBDCs become the default rails with baked-in limits, Bitcoin is the parallel rails that stay open all the time. As we mentioned, market stress is already visible. France's deteriorating fiscal position has pushed investors to price it closer to the euro periphery. Analysts see deficits and politics colliding with higher borrowing costs. Now they're trying to sell CBDCs as modernization, as in we're being innovative. We need to innovate with the rest of the world. But what's really going on is capital is leaving. So they need to be able to control that.
What do you want to say to critics who say a digital euro risks surveillance? It risks becoming a tool of financial surveillance and central control.
Not true.
Why not?
Because we are looking at a technology that will actually protect the privacy. And I think that in peer-to-peer payment, this is already a given. And for larger payments, where, for instance, AML, anti-money laundering rules will have to apply because we don't want to support, hanky-panky business of a dark nature, then the rules of scrutiny will be applied by the banks, which already have access to the transactions and the payments that are made by their clients. There's not going to be more than that. And we are not interested in the data. I mean, the private sector is interested in data, the banks are interested in data, and they can monetize that. But we have no interest, and we couldn't do it. It's not in our business.
So you can reassure people that a central bank digital euro will not undermine people's freedoms.
Correct. It will give them additional freedom, actually.
The policy levers that come bundled with these CBDCs, especially in a crisis, look a lot like capital controls with better UX. Now, if you want to support Bitcoin's resilience and earn sats along the way, check out Sazmining.com. Sazmining.com offers Bitcoin mining as a service. You own the rigs, and they host and manage in renewable power sites. And your mined Bitcoin goes straight to your wallet. It's non-custodial. It's the clean way for creators and small businesses to plug into the network. If you go to Sazmining.com right now and you put the promo code in SimplyBitcoin, you'll get $100 off your first rig. Book a call with one of their expert team members and start mining today at Sazmining.com. So we need to learn the rails. We need to run a wallet that we control. We need to practice secure backups, and we need to consider running a node. Are you running a node? Yeah, sure. Oh, I'm running a node. Yeah, I got all kinds of nodes. What nodes do you need? I got a fresh node. I got a watermelon node. We need to be able to track the law, ask pointed questions about holding limits, offline caps, and data access. And we need to know our history on the subject. Cyprus in 2013, Greece in 2015. Europe has a history of capital controls, and a CBDC makes them frictionless. Remember that CBDCs can be pitched as innovations or instruments, tools to help you out, but in a debt crisis, incentives tilt towards control. And Bitcoin remains the opt-in alternative. Open rails when the mainline gates close. It's better to study Bitcoin while the choice is still yours. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like what you see and you want to see more, make sure you hit that like button below. You can leave us a comment, even subscribe to the Simply Bitcoin channel for more content like this. We're coming out with it every single day. Also, don't forget to hit that notification bell. I'm Oceans. This is Beyond Bitcoin. Until next time.